a submarine.
Yeah.
The temperature in here is 50 degrees all year long. No matter how hot it is outside, the water still stays 40 degrees. The fish usually come into this creek. There's two little tiny ones if you're lucky enough. There's one to see them today. We get rainbow spotted and brown trout. The fish led to the discovery of this caverns in 1822. The fishermen were out front, they saw fish going into the mountain and they didn't come back out. So they found the entrance to our cavern. That is the only entrance and exit. There is no other way in or out. We don't have any fish right now because we also get other creatures that live in this caverns. We get otters and mink, and that come in at night and they eat them all up. If the fish stay in here for any length of time, their eyes will turn white and they go blind because they live in total darkness and their eyes have nothing to focus on. They find their food by the vibrations on the top of the water. But unfortunately, they're not the only animals that live in here. So Fish and Wildlife Commission come in and restock periodically, but they haven't been in here in a while. As soon as they come, the fish disappear again. If you notice these archways, these are all carved by water and limestone. None of this has been blasted or chipped away for your standing purposes. This at one time was under the ocean. We found fossils in here and it's sedimentary stone, so we know that one time, billions of years ago, this was all under the ocean floor. Y'all follow me on in. The concrete was put in the 50s for your walking privileges, and the walls were built in 2005 for flood purposes. But it doesn't flood. If you look up on that shelf, you got to be kind of far back to see it. You're going to see a green plant growing. That's a miracle in itself because plants don't grow in caverns. We think a bat puts that little seed out and it's decided to grow. It'll die this winter though, because it's going to be totally dark in a couple of months.
How long did the rain for it to start flooding there?
We had 2 hurricanes last year and it got wet. That's what the red bricks are for. That's the only place that it gets low is up there toward the door. It doesn't flood in here hardly ever. The last flood was in 2004.
Oh, wow.
But we have 3 levels to the caverns. You're on the middle level. I'm going to show you the bottom level, and it's underwater, and it's later on in the tour. What you're looking at is the 3rd level. There are several rooms up there, but we can't go up there. The floors are very porous, and they're only 1 or 2 inches. You fall right through. There are several rooms up there, and we use our imagination as we go into the caverns, and we call it formation imagination because you use your imagination to see what everything forms. This is called the ballroom floor because it's wet, slippery, and shiny, and it looks like something you could possibly dance on because you fall through it. Another reason we don't go on this 3rd level is there's a guardian. That guardian never leaves the 3rd level, and he's up there as still as a stone, ready to pounce on anybody that might come up there. If you look up where my flashlight is, you're going to see this big crocodile. And you see his long snout with his sharp teeth and his eye, his body, ready to pounce. So that's our guardian of the 3rd level. All right, we're going to scoot over here. Just come up here with me. Watch your heads. We're going to let Joseph and Ingrid pass this by.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Hope you enjoyed the caverns today.
I'll just squeeze over and we'll let them pass us by.
All of our little buddies.
Just line up on this man-made wall right here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the bats. We get other creatures in here besides fish. We get millipedes, centipedes, cave spiders, cave crickets, crawdads, and of course we get bats. The bats come in usually from the 1st of November, last of October until the 1st of April. When that comes that first big frost, they're going to be in here. But they're not in here today, they're outside eating bugs. We get 2 types of bats. We get brown bats, which are kind of large bats, and then we get pipistrelle bats, tricolor bats, which are the ones that come in most of the time. They're about the size of a chicken nugget, with their wingspan is only as big as my hand. The bats, when they come in, they wrap themselves up 3 times in their wings and they nest on the crevice, right above your head. From the door up through here is where they'll nest. Well, while they're hibernating, They get white nose syndrome, which is in most of the caverns in America. It's like us getting poison ivy. So when they're hibernating and they're sleeping, they start scratching. They wake up, and to replenish their energy, they fly outside to look for food. Well, there is no food. They freeze to death or they starve. In the last few years, we've gone from a population of about 200 down to about 5. That's all that ever come back anymore. So to keep this from spreading, we don't know why it's in the caverns or how to stop it, but when we leave, I'm going to spray down a mat that's 90% water and 10% bleach. You don't have to scrub your feet on it, but all you have to do is step on it and step off. That'll kill any spores that are on your shoes. It's not contagious to you, your pets, or your livestock, so you can't go into school or work next week and say, gosh, I can't come in because I've got the white nose syndrome in that caverns, because we all tried it here and it didn't work for us either. It's not going to work for you. But anyway, for your imagination purposes, we have a Flowstone Bat right above your head. If you want to walk this way, you're going to see this big thing on the wall. And this is the size of a brown bat. It has a fist-sized structure in the middle. It's his head and about 3 or 4 foot wide wingspan. That's the size of a brown bat. But since we don't have one hanging from the ceiling that I can show you, I'm going to show you our pet bat. His name is Wally. If you look over here where my flashlight is, I'm going to see if he's awake. Oh, there he is. That's Wally, the Walmart bat. Y'all, he's not going to fly. He's not real. But that's as close as you're going to get. Now you saw a bat in Linville Caverns today. There's Wally. Hi, Wally. All right. If you look over here, this is what we call the mini Linville Caverns. This is how Linville Caverns got it started. It was a big limestone mountain with a crack going down it, or a hollow spot. And the waters came and the floods came and it ate out the limestone. So in a million years, this might be a room big enough to stand in. And that's how it got its start. What you're looking at here is called a bedrock table. Bedrock means hard sedimentary stones, and it didn't dissolve away with the limestone. It's probably got some kind of granite in it. And do rocks grow? Yes, they do. Above this bedrock table, you're going to see real stone. This is rock that grows upward and creates a natural dam. And usually, this is full of water. We haven't had rain or dampness in here in so long, I don't even know. It's strange. But this is usually full of water, and that grows upward. You'll notice a lot of the stalactites on the ceiling are broken off. August the 13th of 1940, there was a flood that hit the mountains. And it rose 6 feet an hour, and it wiped away towns like Mortimer and Edgemont, killed people. The water rose so fast and so furious that it came and filled this entire caverns, and the water current was so strong it broke off a lot of the big formations that we have inside.
Since 1930s.
1940, August 13th, 1940. Then it wiped out towns down the road, like Edgemont, Mortimer, they had factories. People's lives, they died, and they never rebuilt it because of the floods. All right, this is a deserter's fireplace. In 1780, Civil War is going on down Kings Mountain. All the men were camping out around here to rest between battles. We had Confederate and Union soldiers that deserted during the night. They found their way into this cavern. They waded through ankle to waist deep ice cold water to get to this area. This was a 5-foot square sandbar. This was the only dry place in the caverns, and that's where they camped. And they had a potter's bench and some tools, so we're pretty sure they were either mending shoes or making shoes for the local folks in return for their food. This was their fire pit where they kept warm and cooked their food. But little did they know there are fissures in our ceiling. You can still see some of the soot, really dark and brown. But there are fissures in the ceiling. That means there's tiny little holes that let drops of water come down and kiss you in the face. Don't worry, that water's pure. But that let the smoke go out. And the local folks were talking about the mountain looked like it was on fire because smoke was rolling down the grassy hill. So when the authorities got to looking for our deserters, they eventually found them from the smoke on the mountain. And they were tried for treason, and that was the end of their story. So they lived here together, Confederate and Union soldiers. No, it was smoke. They gave it away. Yes, it went out to the public. Yeah.
I'll probably have to write this up in editing.
Yeah. Alright, y'all squeeze
I got
on in
lots.
this little room right here. This is called the Cathedral Room because it's the biggest room in our caverns. It's 23 feet tall from floor to ceiling. You'll notice up here the stalactites that were broken off during the flood as well. In 2004, there was a flood that came from Hurricane Ivan, and the water got up in here 5 feet. And that's in 2005, they came in and built man-made walls to make a natural, a man-made dam to break the currents, and if it ever does flood again, then it won't mess up all of the formations in here. Another reason this is called the Cathedral Room is there's a wedding going on right above my head. If you look up here, above my head, you're going to see stalactite drapery. It makes a pretty shelf. On top of that shelf, you'll see where my flashlight is. There's a priest, and he has a long white beard, and he's holding the staff. He's officiating a wedding. You'll see the groom and the bride on their knees saying their vows. You see your veil. Use your imagination, folks. It's okay. And then over here to the right, you're going to see the nose of the mother-in-law. Big old nose sticking in their business before they ever get started. But don't worry, their love is set in stone. But look above this groom and bride. You're going to see looks like bony hands coming down. We hope that's not a rocky start. And you can put your ear up to this and you'll hear rock music.
Rock music, very
All right,
funny.
the next part of our tour is a very tight squeeze. If you're claustrophobic, stay in the back of the line. That way you'll be the first to exit. If you're really claustrophobic, you can stay in the intersection because we'll only be in there in a minute. This is the elephant of Linville Caverns. The big white face plastered in the stones. It's kind of cute. All right? We'll walk over here. This is a really tight squeeze. This is the one place in the cavern you're allowed to touch the walls. Nowhere else in the caverns can you touch. It's not slimy. It is wet and cold. You'll notice how black it is. This is from the handprints that have touched it before, and it's dead. Wow. It's not going to grow anymore because of the hands. But if it kept growing and forming, it would eventually close itself up, and we wouldn't be in here. If you look above my head, this is called Flowstone. And it looks like the Capitol building. We call it the Capitol building. Watch your head as we go in this tight squeeze, folks. Tight squeeze.
What does a very tight squeeze?
You're going to see the first level of our cavern. So if you'll walk to the back of this grate,
Jesus.
all the way back, we're going to squeeze everybody on this grate. Watch your step. You can touch the walls here. Notice they're black. If you look straight ahead, you're going to see what we call the dinosaur bone graveyard. It's not real dinosaur bones, but you got to use your imagination. All the kids say it looks like dinosaur bones, so that's what we call it, dinosaur bone graveyard. It's very porous limestone. It got washed too.
Moss right there.
All right, we're going to squeeze everybody in on this grate. And I'm going to turn the lights on under your feet. And if you look down, you're going to see a lot of
Look
water.
how deep it is.
And after this cavern was over in 1939, two scientists came in with
To drop anything.
It had an anchor on the end. They dropped that paper down, it never touched the bottom. We call this place the bottomless pool. In 2005, two divers went down. They got about 30 feet. It got too tight, so they had to come back up. And then we sent down cameras, and they only got a couple hundred feet down, and they hit debris. So we will never really know how deep this first level is, but we know it's over 250 feet. All right, as we stand here, just ask me. I'm gonna flip this switch off, and the grate's gonna fall. I'm just kidding. I woke y'all up though. All right, we're gonna exit the same way we came in, and that's above your head. This is the stalactite draperies, but we're in North Carolina, of course, so we're gonna call this North Carolina tobacco leaves hanging up to dry. Imagination, because people keep looking for the real thing. It's not real. It's just cute. Get your feel in, because this is the last place you can touch the wall and know how a cabin feels. She's going to touch it. This is shady dolomite. We call it the mother stone. Shady dolomite makes up 85% of this cavern. It's water-soluble limestone like you put in your gardens. It makes up most of the Appalachian Mountains. At one time, These mountains were taller than the Swiss Alps, but because of the shady dolomite, they eroded down to about 6,000 feet, what we have today. And now you know what it looks like, that shady dolomite. If you look up here on my flashlight this is called the volcano scene because it looks like hot lava that's coming out of the mountain. And you might also wonder if we found any gemstones or gold in this cavern. The answer is no. We've got a semi-precious stone, and it's called carnelian or cave onyx. And this is what it looks like. It's made out of calcite and iron oxide. That's a fancy name for calcium and rust. It makes a pretty stone. It's called carnelian or cave onyx. They sell some of this in the gift shop, but it never came from here. It's a $250,000 fine if you take even a pebble out of the water. So it's state and federally protected. And it's only about 50 cents a stone. It's not that precious, but we think it's pretty, and that's what it looks like. Now you know what cave onyx or carnelian looks like. Pretty orange stone. This big guy, I call the dragon of Linville Caverns, because it's his head, there's his body and his legs, and his wings are folded upward as if he's taking flight. So I kind of like him. He's a happy dragon.
Roar.
We're going to pile in this room. I'll tell you about this big green rock. This is called the Guess What Rock. This is the biggest single stalactite that we have still hanging that didn't get knocked off during the floods. It's green because of algae and moss that grow under the electric lights. Y'all can pile up in here in front of me. Y'all can come on up. That black stripe that you see coming down this rock is death. During the early tours, they didn't know that every time you touch this rock, it's going to die. So that's never going to grow again. But it is still growing and forming at the bottom. It takes 125 years for 1 cubic inch of this to form. That's about the size of a dice every 125 years. And of course, it looks like a pickle or a cactus or a giant Squidward nose or an alligator maybe hanging up there, so that's why we call it Guess What Rock. This is over 5,000 years old and still growing. This up here is called Frozen Niagara Falls. It's over 10,000 years and still growing. Usually it pours water, but we ain't had any rain. So it's not going to pour rain today. All right, we're going to pass by another group. Okay, we'll wait for you. Just tell me when. Go under these low arches. Thanks, Lauren.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all enjoy your tour. Y'all watch your heads, folks.
What is funny to me is people will be like, where are you from?
Y'all watch your heads. Get everybody in here. What you're looking at up above your head is called stalactite draperies, or in the books it's called bacon. And it kind of looks like bacon because of the iron oxide that comes down and makes it orange and white. And up above your head you're going to see an earthquake fault line. This earthquake fault line goes all the way through our caverns, but this is a good spot where you can see where the tectonic plates have pushed under each other. There are 2 fault lines here. One is Linville Falls Fault and the other one is Brevard. Brevard goes from Alabama into Virginia. But don't worry, this hadn't shaken hard in about 8 days. I'm kidding. 1922 was the last time it shook. We still have a lot of rocks from where it shifted. They're never going to come down from there. We have rock slides when we're outside. A lot of the rocks from the restroom, the huge ones, they come down in rock slides. So we do have a lot of major rock slides, but you're safe in here. Spruce pine gets earthquakes, but we don't. Spruce pine is next to us. They gem mine a lot.
How far is the Linville Fault? You said the
Linville Falls, how far is it? 3
Linville
miles.
Fault. You said the fault line,
Oh,
the
the
Brevard
fault?
fault line was from
How
Alabama,
long
Virginia.
is it? I don't really know how long that fault line goes. But it goes in through spruce pine. I know that because they get hit with earthquakes quite a bit. But not us so much. The next room we're going to enter is the only 3rd level room that we can see. It's called Gilkey Room after John Quincy Gilkey. He opened up this caverns in 1939 for tours. Y'all watch your step as we go up. It's wet and slippery, so use the handrail. Everybody good? Okay. This is one of the most beautiful rooms in the caverns. I want everybody to squeeze in so everybody gets a good view of this. Usually, this is underwater. This is called a drip pool, and it's usually water's up running off of the sides. This stuff that looks like cauliflower or popcorn is called cave crystals. The snake-like stuff is called rimstone. If you put a carpenter's level on that rimstone, it's perfectly level. These rocks grow upwards with the water, and this is how they form a dam. I'm just curious why they form. I hadn't figured that out. But they do grow and form dams, and there's a lot of rimstones in this cavern. If you'll notice the rocks that grow upward, they're pointed like this. This is called stalagmites. They might reach the ceiling if they keep growing. The ones hanging from the ceiling down are called stalactites. They hold on tight to the ceiling. And if you look up there to the left of those big ones, you're going to see some little tiny things called soda straws. These are baby stalactites, and they're hollow and fragile, and that's how stalactites are born. As they grow bigger, they do fill up and become more solid. I'm going to show you some colors in here. That dark gray that you see, it's manganese. It comes through the water. The white is calcite. The orange is iron oxide. Some of that green is oxidized copper. Now, most of it's algae and moss. There's some blues up here that are cobalt and zinc. So we get a lot of trace minerals that fall down in this water. When these stalactites and these stalagmites grow together, like this one you see in front of my flashlight, or this one, or if you see where they grow together like that, that's called a pillar or a column. We know that's not really a pillar because that's what we sleep on every night. But you'll see some really pretty stalactite draperies in here that you don't see in a lot of caverns, and that's really different kind of formations. And as we exit out, I'm going to draw your attention to the right. This is cave crystals that dried up, and they turned brown. So we call this Taco Bell because it looks like a big old pot of ground beef. So that's Taco Bell. Now we're going to exit these stairs. Use
If
the
you eat it,
handrail
you'll have
and
a fun
watch
time in your
your head.
toilet.
There's a big rock right in your head. So and look to the left, and you're going to see a whole lot of Taco Bell. That's cave crystals that dried up.
Remember, people, if you eat Taco Bell, your toilet will have a fun time.
Yes, it will. And if you look right there, there's another rimstone. The water table used to be 6 feet in here.
Wow.
And that's the rimstone that was left from the water table. Watch your head, dear. Y'all be careful coming down them steps. That's dangerous. All right. I'm going to come over here and shine my flashlight right where y'all are.
Nope.
Watch your head, Jason. Yeah, watch your head. You right under a rock. That's going to hurt. You're going to get a concussion. I'm short. I'll stand under the rock and you stand behind me. All right. This is wild Linville Caverns. This is what it would have looked like in the days before the concrete was put down in the 50s. You would have treaded ankle to waist deep ice cold water. Those pipes go to our facilities, and it's good water. We drink it. Don't worry, no bats come and poop this far back because might be a spider, but that's just like chewing on a gummy bear while you drink the water. There's another bedrock table right there where the water table used to be, and it was also a lot of granite in there. A little history about these. Y'all can come on down. You're now a half a mile under the mountain at this point. You're 700 feet from the front door. This goes back 600 feet and dead ends in a clear pool of water. William Hidden in the late 1800s was working with Thomas Edison. They were looking for platinum to improve the light bulb. Well, Mr. William Hidden came in here and he didn't find any platinum, but he got above that crystal clear pool of water and he carved his name in great big letters right above that pool. And if you want to see it, I'm sorry, you got to go in the gift shop. There are photos of his picture, his name carved in the stones that are in the photos in there, but we can't go that far back. But anyway, he didn't find any platinum. He found a gemstone. It was yellowish green, and they named it Hiddenite after him. And there's a town called Hiddenite, North Carolina, from William Hidden. And he got his start right here in our caverns. Kind of a little history. All right, we'll move on up.
He named the town over there near Raleigh, but he found it here.
Yeah,
That doesn't make no sense.
this is where it started. And of course, then back then it was not federally protected, so he took it out. That was the end of that. But Hiddenite, yellowish green stone. Y'all just stand still in this room. We're going to experience total darkness in this room. And I want you to hold on to somebody you really care about, because when these lights come back on, it makes for an awkward first blind date. All right? If you're afraid of the dark, you can close your eyes and you won't know it's dark anyway. All right? Let me go over these lights. Turn these lights off. If you have something that emits light, a camera, a watch, glowing shoes, a bright personality, please turn it off or be real still at this time so we can get the full effect of what it would be like to be in total darkness. There are only two places in the world that you could experience total darkness. One is at the abyss, at the very bottom of the ocean. The other place you can experience it is in a cavern like we're in today. It would cost a lot more than $9 a ticket and a long time to get to the bottom of the ocean. So I want you to enjoy total darkness with me in this caverns. But first I'm going to tell you a story. There were two boys here in 1915, two boys lived on the mountain. They made three big mistakes. The first mistake they made, they wanted to go spelunking, and they didn't tell a soul that they were coming into the caverns. Second mistake they made is they had one source of light. It was a kerosene lantern. Gave out about half the light that this one does. The third mistake they made, they let the clumsy boy carry the lantern. They got 700 feet into the caverns, right where we are, and that clumsy boy fell and dropped that lantern. And boom, this is what they saw. Oh, I see lights. Y'all hide your phone or whatever it is so we can see how dark it is. Now hold your,
Oh, it's solar powered, I can't control it.
Whoa, that's okay. But if you hold your hand in front of your face, you can't see it. If you were in conditions like this 4 or 5 months, you would go totally blind because your eyes have nothing to focus on. But don't worry, psychologists told us in 3 or 4 weeks you became crazy, and you've been seeing all kinds of things in this cavern. You wouldn't know you're blind anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. Do you think those boys made it out of here alive? Yes.
Yeah.
No, their bones are here. I'm kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Another place you can experience total darkness, the closets where you're depressed.
Yes, that's right. It is pretty dark in there. But at least you might see a speck of light somewhere, I don't know. But anyway, the boys, after they calmed down, the panic settled, they realized, oh goodness, we were following the current in. So if we go with the flow of water, we might find our way out. It took us about 15 minutes to casually walk this far back. It took them 2.5 days to crawl out. They were badly bruised, cut, and had hypothermia, and their parents finished them off when they got home. So, if you're ready for me to turn the lights back on, you can raise your right hand, and when I see it, I'll turn on the light. All right. I don't see any hands, but I'm going to turn them on, and I'm going to count down. 3, 2, 1. Oh, gosh, they turned the electricity off. I'm kidding. Just kidding. We have electricity. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed Total Darkness with me.
You are such a comedian, aren't you?
Y'all watch your head on this. This is called Duct Arch, because if you don't duck, your head will whack, just like that big whack that's in it.
You'll see the frozen Niagara. Resembles at Niagara Falls. It is the
We're going to hang right here until this group passes us by.
For flowstone formation, drain formation in general, it takes 100.
I'm missing this my science teacher.
A little bit of history from this rock back after that flood in 1940. All of that back area was packed with mud and debris. In 1955, they had to dynamite that out. And it was over 500 tons of mud, and they took it out with a mule and a cart from here out the front door. It's a lot of mud. If you look up here, you're going to see the heart of Linville Caverns. This
Welcome to the
heart. It has a perfect heart formation down in it. Now that you're a half a mile inside of Mother Earth, you see her heart. And it has a calcite deposit, so it looks like she has a broken heart.
Oh, because she's depressed by humans.
That's right, she is. I'm sure she is. I don't know, this is kind of a happy place. Did y'all see the heart? Anybody else want to see the heart? Y'all can walk up if you want to. Y'all walk up and see the heart?
Some more moss.
Y'all see the heart?
Welcome to the house on Linville Caverns. I am SpongeBob's narrator.
That was bad. I'm sorry.
This is Mr. Bones. He's made out of calcite, so hopefully his bones are good and strong. This is Mr. Octopus.
You could call him Squidward.
Yes, good.
Quality.
This indentation is called the inside of a human skull. It kind of looks like a human skull on the inside. There was a pebble lodged in that crack, and when the floods came through here, it loosened up that pebble, and the water current sent it spinning, and the water carved all this out. And that's how that was formed. All those little drops of water that hit you in the face, we don't want you to get it in your hair and wake up in the morning with caved hair.
That's why I'm wearing a hood.
And there's what we call a frog in the throat. So if you don't like moisture in your throat, this is going to give you a froggy in the throat. Did y'all see my caved hair? We don't want the water to get in your hair. It might look like caved hair. That's a frog in the throat.
That must be Batman's old cape calcified. Yeah, see, I tell you, this is Batman's old cape. That's Batman's old cape right there, and it's calcified.
Yeah.
That means it's stronger than all.
How cool. And we still have stalactites that fell off there in the wood.
Look at that big old frog.
Let's slide it in the room again.
One that can really nifty murder so many times, no surprise.
So we need a new alligator. That's a white crocodile. Okay, folks, we're back where we started. Thank you for your time, and I'm coming at the top of the ramp. I'm going to spray down that mat with bleached water. All you have to do is step on and step off, and that'll kill any of the spores that might be on your shoes from white nose fungus. And I thank y'all for coming out. Watch your head on that rock. You'll notice a lot of the little guys live up here toward the door. We have cave spiders, cave crickets, and in the fall we get granddaddy longlegs so thick you can sweep them off. We have lots of spiders that live up here at the door. This is our bat entrance and exit. Been trying to teach them, that's enter, that's exit. They just don't seem to get it. All right, just meet me at the top of the ramp, please. Hope y'all had fun.